So hello everyone and welcome back to another video of F1 2019 Career Mode, episode number 10, today for the Canadian Grand Prix. One thing that you'll see in this video is some livery changes as well to the Mercedes and the McLaren. I am reverting the Mercedes and Red Bull for the latest update 1.07 when I come and play it, which will probably be from the Austrian Grand Prix, French Grand Prix, as I've already recorded a few weeks ago. But anyway, this is what happened last time out in Monaco. We are some 21 seconds ahead of Ricardo. I think they are all the AI behind us and in front of us are going to try and do a one-stop apart Sergio Perez, who's still yet to stop on those mediums. So if Perez is going this long on the mediums, I reckon all the AI are going to the end of the Grand Prix. But we're going to catch Carlos Sainz in this alternative strategy. You can see that Sergio Perez has come in and switched onto a set of soft tyres. We are catching Sainz at P6, but so is Perez catching us for P7. So we are going to merge pretty much on each other around the same time, because the gaps are going down pretty much at the same time. So towards the end of this Grand Prix, this will change and actually become interesting. It's pretty much been quite a dull Grand Prix, to be honest. Not going to lie. Moving to lap 38 now, and Kimi Raikkonen has spun up one of the corner, and he is going to quietly reverse back and then quietly retire to out of the Grand Prix, leaving us 18 runners. Carlos Sainz now is right in front of us, so is Sergio Perez behind us. We need to get DRS. We've got the same engine, unfortunately, though, that Carlos Sainz, but nonetheless we are closing down dive it down the inside into turn 1, cut the corner as usual, and up into P6, and that is pretty much where we are. We're going to finish. I have to see if we can catch Grosjean, but he's looking like he's going to be too far ahead for us to try and get past. Maybe a few more laps we probably could have got ahead of him, but yes, Lewis Hamilton won the Grand Prix. Shock. All of the team seemed generally happy with my performance. There was one person who was waiting to give us a little bit of a lecture about the fact we didn't get 4th place.
That's very disappointing. I know you can do better than that. Take stock of what went wrong so you can get a better result next time.
What?
So yes, unfortunately we've got this bullshit contract to deal with until we can renew our contract, which I believe we can do at the end of the next episode. So hopefully we don't get fired. If we do, then that will pretty much be the end of the career mode. But yes, that is the bullshit contract. 3rd and 4th place, when they're going to do that. That was of course negotiated before 1.05 came out, and of course, yes, well, it wasn't negotiated. It was surrendering a gunpoint. I've got a few new upgrades though coming through. A power stream that will help us around Austria. Aero upgrade is coming for around Canada. The aero upgrade is coming from Austria. Mercedes are once again streaming ahead. Ferrari go back in front of Red Bull, and I think Haas and Racing Point are getting close, although we are as well. McLaren are thereabouts as well. Williams are trying to close the big gap. Just before we go to qualifying, it's time to take a look at some of the liveries. Now, I haven't done much with the McLaren livery apart from putting the Estrella Galicia logo where it should be. I was right when I said in a previous video I thought that the star thingy on the rear was to do with Carlos Sainz, and I was right. It's actually their smaller logo, but in real life they of course have this. But obviously, like with the Martini sponsorship, of course, Estrella Galicia is a beer, I think Spanish beer, because they're definitely Sainz's sponsors. So yes, they're going on that. Obviously, the Kenwood sponsor is still there. Instead, in place of the Coca-Cola one. So yes, this will be both of this and the Mercedes one that I did, which was before Hockenheim. That's how delayed this video is. I apologise. They should really be. Hopefully, episode 11 will be coming soon as well. But they'll both be uploaded to race departments. Should you wish to go download them, I think I'll do that. Probably do this after tomorrow, sometime. If I forget, let me know in the comments below. But yes, I've also updated the Mercedes, done a white livery, because I think some people were saying they preferred just the full white, and it was a simple livery to do, just to change it all to all white. I've added the old Mercedes logo at the back, and then of course the Patronus in black, made all the sponsors black, and the red of course of the number. So that's literally all that has changed for the Mercedes. I tried to keep the Mercedes little silver arrows, but ultimately it didn't come out in this photo, and yes, it's a little annoying at the fact that they're on the livery as opposed to being on the decal side. If they're on the decal side, then it'd be a lot easier to edit, but they're on the livery side, so the paint job side, so it means that we have to deal with that. But yeah, other than that misfortune, it actually looks it's quite a simple livery. I don't think I've changed any of these sponsors for this. So yes, one thing to mention, I should mention this, I have actually been busy editing Final Fantasy F1. If you're unfamiliar with Final Fantasy F1, it is one of my 3 modded series that we're going to have on this channel over the series. It's supposed to be coming in September, early September. I'll have to wait and see. I don't know. If F2, I want to try and time it so that I was hoping that, because the localization, the language file where you can change the driver names, isn't available to edit in the game files, so I'd have to hack the game, which I don't really have time to do. So it'll probably mean more editing work until such time that would come available. But I'm weighing up whether or not they would actually add it anyway, because the reason I was saying September is because that's when the deadline. That's when they're due the F2 2019 cars. And if they finished updating all the driver names from that, then they should release it into the game files. That's the idea, but I don't think that they will now. So I shall have to wait until it's finished. It's not quite finished, but there will be some engine changes. Some of the liveries, the Red Bull, you'll like what I've done to the Red Bull. Trust me, that is it. Some of the others are a bit bland, but it's not. You have to. Not all of them can be made good. Obviously, the Renault's good as well, but the Red Bull is the best one so far. Bear in mind, I've still got about 3 or 4 to do. I won't mention too much about it because I don't want to give that away. So yes, without a doubt, it's time for not to make this video too long, because of course otherwise I'll put people off and I don't want to do that. It's time for qualifying today's Canadian Grand Prix.
Hello and welcome from the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, home to the Canadian Grand Prix, for today's qualifying session. With the weather as it is today, Anthony Davidson, we have, to some extent, to throw the form book out of the window. Who do you see having the advantage on this slippery, unpredictable track surface?
The trouble is, Crofty, they need to be thinking about the race tomorrow. You don't want to go jacking up the ride heights and piling on a few points of extra downforce that you're not going to want in the Grand Prix itself. The Parc Fermé regulations mean that you have to make that choice. The best thing the drivers can do is adapt with the tools they have available in the cockpit. Moving the brake bias forward will help stop the rear end slipping out under braking, and opening up the differential can really help tame the oversteer on corner exit. The drivers that can make best use of these techniques will have the best chance for success here today.
So we had a wet qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, and so that's the first time this year. The race, oh my goodness grief, look at the understeer, we're going off like a banana. Oh wait, we are the banana. Yes, it's intermediate conditions. It was wet at the start of the race. This really isn't intermediate conditions. It's like rain in 10 minutes, for goodness sake. We should. Oh my goodness grief, we're sliding like there's no tomorrow, and really, we should not be on this tyre. It's about as dangerous as those Audi drivers in the right-hand lane when you can't literally see the entire road in those spray conditions. If you're one of those drivers, you really need to slow down. We are somehow improving, but then look at the delta into this corner. We took it very slowly, and we lost a second, but then gained out of the corner a second and a half. So I don't know how we managed to do that, whether or not this is going to be enough to improve. I don't know. My wet weather performance, I think the wet weather OP is a little bit too OP. They went from being the player to being OP to the AI being OP, because look at this performance, 19th on the grid, which is just enough to get us 2 X's versus Ricciardo, and of course Lucas Faber, our rival, and of course well, it reduced everything, despite the fact that we gained rep with
Honestly, I expected a better session, but these things happen from time to time.
And of course Claire's going on about us, the fact it should be a better thing. So we're going to take this option to we've sort of really penalty to take a penalty. I mean, I don't like the fact that in this game you have to use that fourth component. You can't just take the penalty but then use the other component. That's something that I didn't want to do, and they've since got in-game penalties applying as well. I can't take a new gearbox either, although I think we haven't used it. But anyway, enough about that. So yes, we're going to take a big huge penalty, and that's going to be time for today's Canadian Grand Prix from the back. It's going to be an interesting one.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average lap speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Can we talk about Toro Rosso? They've had to retire a couple of times in the last few races. What can you tell us about the reliability of their car?
It's a good statistic for sure, as it demonstrates not only mechanical reliability, but consistency from both drivers as well. These are two of the first boxes you have to tick for any successful season.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Butler, Leclerc, Lucas Faber and Vettel, Perez, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi and Lance Stroll, Sainz, Norris, Robert Kubica and Raikkonen, Albon, Russell, Romain Grosjean and De Renault. Kvyat and Max Verstappen completes the grid, and with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, be wary of the cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
Thank you, Jeff. I just want to point out there, we were 19th. I think Kvyat, yes, I think Kvyat didn't set a time, so he should have been 20th on the grid. But I've been promoted to 18th on the grid. Ahead of Max Verstappen, who's also taken a penalty but was a lot higher up. I don't. They say they fix this, so I'm not going to say anything more for 1.07. I was looking about switching the strategy, trying to see what we could do, because the two-stop really isn't probably not going to work for me. We'll probably try and go longer potentially, depending on what we're going. We'll try and probably switch that up to a one-stop, maybe soft to 60 place penalty. What can we do from 18th on the grid? Lights out and away we go. It's an initial better start than Grosjean, but then is he going to have the second part? No, he's not. We're going to actually have a big overstake. We go down the inside of one, trying to get Russell. Albon comes back on us on the inside, but he takes the curbing and we can get the traction. No, we're going to lose out, of course. And then, of course, we've got Danny Kvyat going outside, but he's going to take the curbing. Thank you very much, Danny. And that means that we go up ahead a man that is only 2 months younger than I am. Let's go replay this. Where's Verstappen and all of this? I mean, Grosjean, I don't know what Grosjean's doing down there. He's on the mediums anyway. A couple of the Williams are on the medium. We need to get ahead of these medium tyres, although the softs will probably last as long as the mediums. In actual fact, we did actually quite well to get ahead of Kvyat in the end. Although he is staying with us at the end of lap 1. We're going to have a look down the inside of 2 cars. So we're going to look down here, take to the grass. Russell's not going to give us room. Again, thinks about throwing. There's the hand of frustration we were looking for. And of course, Russell, of course, is going to fall behind us here. We tried to squeeze him out there, but yeah. And then, of course, down turn 1, we got the Iceman. Yes, it was an overtake on a man who's probably had about 4 glasses of vodka tequilas before the race starts. Next up, Robert Kubica now in the other. There's something else you don't really see in real life. The fact is that Robert Kubica is ahead of George Russell. Of course, that did happen in the German Grand Prix. He scored a point to my embarrassment. And of course, we're into lap 3 now. We are following George Russell, who's sort of in this tree. In actual fact, Danny Kvyat is pulling to the side. He's out. Another Honda failure. I mean, and that brought out the virtual safety car as well, which of course is always in favour. Yes, alright. Shut up, Jeff. I know. I can see it's on the right-hand screen. You don't need to point it out to me. Yes, I don't know if Honda have got a glitch, whether they if they've got their 2015, 2017 reliability. Maybe we'll get some insert some fake audio from Kvyat saying GP2 engine set fastest third sector there. So we go down the inside of Giovinazzi now. Both Alphas running on the mediums in this first state, so it's good to be ahead of them. At this point, I was thinking, do we really need to be on the softs, on the mediums, and make a 2-stop? Will the 2-stop really get us there, or should we really gamble? Try and get the better position on running longer on these softs and going on to some hards. And that's exactly what I decided to do, is to switch it up, run longer on these softs, and then pit the hards. Our pit window hasn't opened yet, so we're actually up into P4. So we'll try and pit the 1-stop window, because the hards are pretty much like a road tyre around here. They will last forever. Weber is once again running well, which is unfortunate for us, because we really don't need him. He's our rival, and yet he's actually outperforming, where his teammate is started down in P8, P17. His teammates are a long way behind. You can see there that Vettel is actually getting there. We're going to come at the end of lap 13 for one and only pit stop onto a set of hard tyres. And Giovinazzi is coming through at the same time. So that is good. Interesting that Giovinazzi is coming in at the same time for his stop. I presume he's going to go on to set up hards. I think he is going on a set of hards. Otherwise he's going to stop again because mediums won't go to the end of the Grand Prix, but hards will from this. I think he's actually gone for another set of mediums. Oh, well that's... Alfred, you could have gone for the hards. That's the problem. I think they... yeah, we're telling Jet to shut up because he's really getting on my nerves. We've got Raikkonen coming up behind us now. He's gone for softs, so he's starting mediums, gone for softs. We're taking down Sergio Perez. This is a reverse of the Monaco Grand Prix. And we're in the slipstream of Lando Norris. Can we go down the inside of Norris? Yes, we can. Moving up into P8 at last. Lap 22 now. Very good DRS overtake. Norris gave us a space. Is he going to lose out to Raikkonen there? I think Raikkonen is actually going to get the move done on him. But moving to lap 25, and Raikkonen and Giovinazzi have still got one more stop to do. But there's a problem. The two you see there behind the Alfa Romeos are the two Red Bulls. I'm going to take one. Well, you can see I let Ricciardo bar. I'm going to take one for the team. Ricciardo is on fresher tyres. He's doing his two-stop. He's come from behind to catch me up. We're going to slow the Red Bulls up a treat and make sure we get this 6th and 7th, especially for Ricciardo because he's not had a great start to the season. He scored like 3 points in the opening round, so for him to get 6th place would be a major. I imagine would probably be a major confidence boot for him. We're going to let the Red Bulls fight it out for themselves, especially Butler because knowing the prick he doesn't like being behind Verstappen. Let alone in behind anybody really, but we held them off in the last few laps and they started squabbling past them, and then we ended up P7. Ricciardo ran away. So yes, I thought the P7 from P19 in the grid is actually not bad. The hard tyre strategy really worked there, as we skip the podium because there's really no point doing that. Hamilton, Mercedes are really fast. Vettel did get in front of Weber thanks to me, although Vettel and Weber are close. I wouldn't be surprised if Weber got promoted. Verstappen came from 20th on the grid to finish 8th as well, and Davin Butler also dropped from 3rd on the grid to 9th. Perez ran in our top 10. Giovinazzi qualified a top 10, finished behind his teammate. In terms of the standings, we remain 2 points behind Max Verstappen, ahead of Davin Butler now in the Red Bull sandwich. Ricciardo jumps up to 11 though, so that is good for him, gets some more points on the board. We can really take it to Haas. We move up to 4th place, although we are in a big battle between Haas, Racing Point, McLaren are really having a bad run of it, unfortunately.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. The points you earned today put you in the lead over Devon. Something of a personal milestone?
Don't give a shit.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Yes, thanks to my strategy, Claire, not the team strategy, my
today,
strategy.
didn't you?
I let him pass the grace of the team, making sure Ricciardo got some points.
Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash?
What crash? I didn't end with the race with a crash. I've got no idea what you're on about, Claire.
Well, thanks anyway.
Don't give me that. I should be able to refuse an interview with her. That'd be something to do. Refuse interview. We're drawing the rivalry now with Weber. We're losing our second rivalry with Ricciardo, unfortunately. Unfortunately, though, like in Monaco, somebody was waiting for us yet again. Disappointed with the position we made.
Well, let's hope for a better race next time out, eh?
Let's hope for a better race next time out. I'll give you let's hope for a better Nathan. Even Carl's going for that. We finished 7th from 19th on the grid. It was yes, I know qualifying was awful, but you don't need to get, but I think to get any points at all, bearing in mind the fact that we got shafted by Codemasters, is pretty much the best result we can hope for. I'm hoping next race is in Canada. We are going to renew our contract with Renault, hopefully, and make sure that we don't think Ricardo, though, is starting to get some points. Hopefully that means that we can start getting more upgrades in the car, rather than just having this. But we've got 51 points on the board compared to Ricardo's 13th. So yes, I know he didn't finish in China when he was in strong, probably going to get points there. We both struggled in Azerbaijan. And Spain, he had that penalty, so he really got shafted after being in the top 10. So only now, Monaco he got held up behind Raikkonen. So he's had some bad luck, Ricardo, I will admit. He's not had the best of luck. We're going to save those those extra units for the later in the season. Because we'll probably need them, because the reliability will not go all the way this season. But yes, we see that we have 1,300 resource points. The next one, we're actually thinking about doing a major upgrade for weight reduction, which is going to help us in a straight line anyway, but it's also going to help us on the Sashi bit as well. So that will be coming in Britain, the aero upgrade in Austria, and that is going to round off this video today. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe channel, and you see more F1 2019 video as and when it comes out. Next video will be the fastest classic car video, which sort of half worked on, and then episode 11 towards the weekend. But until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, thank you for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.